Hey Steelers Nation, welcome back to the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers are once again proving that they are committed to improving every single detail of this roster, doing everything possible to bring better results in 2026. This is a franchise that refuses to stay stagnant, and now, with a new vision under Mike McCarthy, things are starting to get very interesting. So, before we dive into this fascinating story, go ahead and smash that like button right now, because what we're about to talk about could shape the future of the quarterback position in Pittsburgh for years to come. By the way, if you're looking for official Steelers gear, jerseys, hoodies, hats, or the new Sideline collection, I left the link to the official store in the description and comment. It helps the channel and keeps you geared up for the season. And trust me, this one involves a name that most fans are just starting to hear, but might not forget anytime soon. Since arriving in Pittsburgh, Mike McCarthy has completely changed the tone around the quarterback position. What used to feel uncertain now feels full of possibility. There's excitement around Will Howard and his development, the potential return of Aaron Rodgers, and now the idea of drafting a quarterback with real upside. Here's the key. McCarthy is not ruling anything out. In fact, he's doing the opposite. He's keeping every door open. As we approach the 2026 NFL Draft, one thing is becoming very clear. The Steelers are seriously considering drafting a quarterback. Names like Ty Simpson have been circulating, with many believing he could be a target early. But here's where things take a turn. There's another quarterback, less talked about, but possibly even more exciting, who is starting to gain traction inside the building. That name? Taylen Green. According to recent reports, the Steelers are hosting Taylen Green for a pre-draft visit. And Steelers Nation, this is not something to ignore, because when this organization brings in a quarterback for a visit, it means they see something worth developing, something worth betting on. Let's talk about what makes Green so intriguing. First and foremost, his athleticism is off the charts. At the 2026 NFL Combine, he ran a 4.37-second 40-yard dash. For a quarterback, that's insane. That's elite wide receiver speed. That's the kind of ability that forces defenses to completely change how they play. During his time with Arkansas, Green didn't just show flashes, he produced. 777 rushing yards in 2025, 8 rushing touchdowns, at least 400 rushing yards in every major season he played. This is not a gimmick player. This is a legitimate dual-threat quarterback who can hurt defenses with both his arm and his legs. And in today's NFL, that matters more than ever. Here's where things get really interesting. McCarthy recently made talk about what makes a great quarterback, and one of the key traits he emphasized was lower body explosiveness. He even referenced it when discussing Aaron Rodgers. Now go watch Taylen Green. You'll see it immediately. The burst, the power in his base, the ability to generate force through his legs, it's all there. Of course, if Green were perfect, we wouldn't be talking about him as a late-round possibility. There are concerns. His mechanics, a bit inconsistent. His throwing motion, slightly elongated. His footwork in the pocket needs refinement. In other words, he's a project. And this is where the debate begins. Do you take the safe option, or do you take the swing on upside? Because Taylen Green represents exactly that. High risk, high reward, massive potential. And for a team like the Steelers, that might be exactly what they need. Let's zoom out for a second. Even if Aaron Rodgers returns, he's not a long-term solution. Even if Will Howard develops, there are still questions. That's why drafting a quarterback, even a developmental one, makes so much sense, because the goal isn't just 2026, it's the next decade. Now, let's shift gears for a moment, because McCarthy didn't just make headlines at quarterback, he also made a very interesting comment about one of the team's young players, Caleb Johnson. In one of the most memorable quotes of the offseason, McCarthy compared the situation to a Catholic confession, saying, "Everyone gets a clean slate." And for Caleb Johnson, that could mean everything.
Let's be honest, Johnson's rookie year was rough. Limited offensive impact, a costly mistake on special teams, reduced playing time, and struggles to find a role. It wasn't what anyone expected from a Day 2 pick. Now, under a new coaching staff, Caleb has a chance to reset, a chance to prove himself again, a chance to earn trust. But it won't be easy, because the depth chart is crowded. Right now, Johnson sits behind Jalen Warren and Rico Dowdley. Both players are expected to handle the majority of snaps, which means Johnson's path to playing time is simple but difficult. He has to earn it. If Johnson wants a bigger role, he needs to dominate training camp. No excuses, no second chances. He has to show growth, confidence, ball security, and playmaking ability. Because in this system, opportunities aren't given, they're taken. This is not the same Steelers team we saw last season. With Mike McCarthy stepping in as head coach, the organization has embraced change in a major way. A new coaching staff, a fresh offensive philosophy, and a clear intention to reshape the roster. And that reshaping includes both arrivals and departures. Key additions bring new energy. The front office didn't sit still. They made aggressive moves to improve the roster, bringing in players like Michael Pittman Jr., Jamel Dean, and Rico Dowdley. These are players expected to contribute immediately and help elevate the team's overall performance. But while new faces are arriving, others are saying goodbye. The unexpected departures. Several familiar names are no longer part of the roster. Kenneth Gainwell, Connor Hayward, Calvin Austin. And here's something that really stands out. That entire 2022 draft class? Gone. Completely off the roster. That's a reality that raises serious questions about how that class was evaluated and how quickly things can change in the NFL. The Connor Hayward surprise. But among all those departures, one move caught fans off guard more than most. Connor Hayward leaving Pittsburgh. Why? Because many believed he would stay. Not just because of his role, but because of his name. A family legacy in Pittsburgh. Connor is the son of Craig Hayward and, of course, the younger brother of Steelers legend Cam Hayward. That connection alone made it feel like Pittsburgh was home, forever. But as we now know, that wasn't the case. People didn't think I would leave. In a recent interview, Connor revealed something very interesting about his free agency process. Multiple teams were interested. There were real opportunities, and yet many around the league believed he would stay in Pittsburgh. As he put it, people didn't think I would leave. Interest was strong, even from Pittsburgh. According to Connor, teams like Minnesota and Miami showed interest, but here's the twist. The Steelers wanted him back, too.
Special teams coordinator Danny Smith reportedly pushed hard to bring him back once he realized Hayward was still available. There was communication, there was interest, there was a chance. But in the end, Connor made a different choice, a fresh start in Las Vegas. Connor Hayward signed a 2-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, and this wasn't just about football. This was about identity. This was about carving out his own path, stepping out of the shadow, and proving himself on his own terms. An underrated contributor in Pittsburgh. Let's be clear about something. Connor Hayward was a valuable player for the Steelers. He wasn't just a role player. He was versatile, reliable, and quietly effective. During his time in Pittsburgh, he contributed heavily on special teams, played a key role as a lead blocker, showed dependable hands in the passing game. He finished with 44 receptions, 5 total touchdowns, multiple key plays in critical moments, innovation on offense. One of the most fascinating parts of his impact came in 2025. Connor became a central piece in a unique offensive wrinkle, the tush-push variation. He lined up under center, executed quarterback sneaks, and helped create unexpected plays, including a 29-yard run that caught defenses completely off guard. That kind of creativity, that kind of versatility, it's not easy to replace. So why did he leave? That's the big question. And the answer might not be simple. there are a few factors to consider: desire for a bigger role, fresh start in a new system, opportunity to build his own identity, and yes, criticism from parts of the fan base. Connor did face some criticism during his time in Pittsburgh, but many believe it was unfair, because when you look at his contributions, he consistently did his job and did it well. A missed opportunity for Pittsburgh. Here's where things get interesting. With Mike McCarthy now leading the team, there's a strong possibility that a player like Connor Hayward could have had a defined role. McCarthy traditionally values fullbacks, he values versatility, he values players who can do the dirty work, and Connor fit that mold perfectly. Connecting the dots. That's why so many fans assumed he would stay. It made sense. Everything lined up, and yet it didn't happen. What this means moving forward. Now the Steelers must move forward without him. They'll need to replace his versatility, adjust their offensive schemes, find new contributors in similar roles, and most importantly, they'll need to prove that letting him go was the right decision. Steelers Nation, this is what makes this offseason so exciting. You have a potential high-upside QB in Taylon Green, a coaching staff willing to take risks, a young player like Caleb Johnson getting a second chance, and a franchise trying to redefine its future. This is not a conservative approach. This is bold. This is aggressive, and it could pay off in a big way. Now, I want to hear from you. Should the Steelers take a chance on Taylon Green in the draft? Do you believe he could become a future starter in the NFL? And can Caleb Johnson turn his career around in 2026? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I'm reading everything. And if you enjoyed this exclusive breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss breaking Steelers news. And don't forget, the official Steelers store link is down below if you want to check out the newest gear. Because trust me, the future in Pittsburgh is being written right now.